Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN initiative. In this video, we are going to discuss about opposition party coalition, that is India. It is breaking news. The decision announced today itself. In this video, we are going to discuss about the relevance of this news to UPSC. Before further discussion, we will see the syllabus mapping. In syllabus point of view, it is related to General Studies paper 2, that is Indian Constitution, features and significant provisions and electoral reforms. And in video, we are going to touch upon following areas. First, we will discuss, so what is this news and why it is in news. And here, we are going to discuss about new coalition floated by the opposition parties at national level. Of course, in this coalition, so many regional parties are there. Only national party is Congress and some other national party like Aam Aadmi Party is there and CPIM is there. Except apart from those national parties, there are some regional parties are also there. The new coalition name is India, that is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. Okay, we will discuss further about this name. And in this video, you can expect these following sub areas: democracy in India, and what is political party, and ideological classification. Okay, classification of political party based on ideology, like left party, right party, centrist party. And we will discuss about what is the meaning of coalition government and what are the merits of coalition government and demerits of coalition government, and what are the different coalition governments formed in India since 1977. After then, we will discuss about how a particular political party will register in India, what are the rules regarding the registration of political party, and what are the various types of political parties in India, such as national party and state party, and what are the reasons behind growth of regional parties in India. And finally, we will end this video by discussing Election Commission of India. So these are the components we are going to discuss in this video. First, let us discuss why it is in news. It is in news because opposition parties, they held meeting in Bangalore. How many parties attended? 26 opposition parties attended, and the meeting held in Bangalore. Of course, the meeting held for a couple of days. Today, on 18th of July 2023, these opposition parties announced that they are establishing a new coalition, that is India. Okay, Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, an alliance which is inclusive of various ideologies. We will discuss further about, and this alliance is announced in the context of upcoming Lok Sabha elections to counter BJP-led NDA. NDA stands for New National Democratic Alliance, NDA. Previously, this Congress-led coalition used to known as UPA, UPA 1 2004 to 2009 and UPA 2 2009 to 2014. Some political parties were not there in UPA 1 and UPA 2. Now, they don't want this coalition to be named as UPA 3, so they came up with this new name, that is India. Now, before we discuss further, first let me explain about this particular area. So first, we are discussing about political coalition. Political coalition. So coalition means, this word means grouping together. Political coalition means different political parties coming together to achieve a common goal. This political coalition. First, you have to understand the word politics. The word politics. This word originated from the word polis in Greek. In Greek, polis stands for the state. Polis stands for the state or community. Whatever the decision you are taking in the community, that decisions are nothing but politics. So in politics, people may directly participate. If that is the case, that is known as direct democracy. Direct democracy. If people are not participating, instead of people, if people representatives are participating, that is known as indirect democracy. Indirect democracy. India is the best example of indirect democracy. In India, direct democracy you can observe only in Grama Sabha level. So if you remember, tell me which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the Grama Sabha. Indirect democracy. In indirect democracy, political parties plays very important role. Political parties, they play very important role. Now we will see the classification of political parties based on the ideology. And of course, in some countries, there may be a single political party, or two political parties, or three political party, or multi-political party, like India. Multi-party system, it is known as. Now we will see the word democracy. This word democracy means people. Demo means people. You might have heard about this word, demagogue. A person who can mobilize the support of the people. So here, demos means people and kratos means power. That means the power of the people. In countries like India, where indirect democracy is there, people are exercising their power by participating in the elections and by voting for the particular political parties. And democracy is popularly called as by the people, of the people, and for the people by Abraham Lincoln. So democracy, which reflects the people will, either in the form of direct or indirect form. This is about democracy. Political party, as I mentioned earlier, political party reflects people opinions or people thoughts. Political party, they contest in elections in indirect democracy, and based on the number of seats, they form the government. Based on number of political parties, we can classify the countries into different way, such as one party system, two party system, three party system, and multi party system. One party system where you can find only one political party, such as Soviet Union and Russia. Two party system, you can observe this in countries like England and USA. In England, you can see political parties such as Labour Party and Conservative Party, whereas in America, you can see political parties such as Democratic Party and the Republic Party. Multi-party system, best example India, France and Switzerland. Based on what political party wanted to achieve, based on that also, we can classify the political parties into various ways. Some political parties, they want to bring the society to the olden days, such as, like go back to Vedas and all these things. These political parties, they attach to the old socio-economic and political institutions. They are known as reactionary parties. And conservative parties, they wanted status quo. They don't want to go back to the old values, and of course they don't accept the change also. They are known as conservative parties. Liberal parties, these are the parties which welcome the change and they give utmost priority to the individual liberty. Whereas the radical parties, they want the complete change in the existing system and they propose the new system in place. They are known as radical parties. You might have seen like Communist Party of India, Marxist Leninist, CPI, ML. Okay, that is one of the radical party. And political scientists, they kept radical party on the left ideology, based on the ideology, whereas the liberal parties on the central ideology, reactionary parties and conservative party on the right wing politics. In India, parties such as CPI and CPM, they are considered generally as left parties. Congress generally considered as centrist party, whereas BJP is the rightist party. It is based on their ideological spectrum. Okay. Next, we will see what is the meaning of coalition government. Now we are discussing about coalition parties. Okay, alliance. First, you have to understand alliance. What is the meaning of alliance? As I mentioned earlier, alliance means group of political party. Group of political party. There is nothing but group. Okay. If you are not aligning with any group, that is known as non-alignment movement. You might have heard about this in the Indian foreign policy. This is alliance. In India, traditionally, BJP and BJP friendly parties, they together formed as an alliance such as NDA, National Democratic Alliance. And Congress friendly parties, they previously formed as an alliance that is known as UPA. Now, few parties in UPA not there and few additional parties came into UPA. Now they reshaped into new political alliance that is known as India. First we will discuss about the coalition government. What is the main objective of this coalition parties? This coalition contesting the election as a coalition and getting into the power. By that they will form the coalition government. Coalition government is nothing but a government which is run by coalition, which includes multiple parties. So coalition, it can be formed either before the election or after the election. Now whichever the coalition we are talking, it is the coalition before the election. If you observe the Maharashtra, in the previous elections in Maharashtra, after the election result is declared, Shiva Sena, NCP and Congress, they formed a new coalition. That was a coalition after elections. Okay. So coalition means they are coming together into one body. Then features of the coalition government. Generally, what are the important features of the coalition government? We will see. Okay. The first feature is generally the coalition is formed based on that every partner in the coalition, they'll get certain kind of reward. Okay. In the form of coming into power or seizing the power. Next, coalition generally consists of two or more political party. And one more thing is, they are these the coalition political parties, they group together, they come to into a one group based on the temporary objectives, and it is not static. As I mentioned earlier, from coalition, few parties will slip away and new parties will add. It is very dynamic in nature, and coalition is not based on a proper ideology. It is only based on the pragmatism, practicality. So there is no strict ideology base for the coalition. And coalition generally, they announce a minimum program. That minimum program reflects the interest of all the political parties in the coalition. You might have heard about UPA, Common Minimum Program. Minimum program is the manifesto of coalition government. As I mentioned earlier, ideology is not a hallmark. And the purpose of the coalition generally to seize the power. That means to coming into the ruling. So these are some of the salient features of the coalition government. Now we will see what are the various instances where coalition governments formed in India. 1977-79 coalition proposed by Janata Party and Prime Minister Morarji Desai. 79 to 1980 Janata Party secular. The Prime Minister was Charan Singh Janata secular. 98-99-90 National Front VP Singh. You should remember that before this election, VP Singh used to be the defense minister in the Rajiv Gandhi government, and after that government, he resigned and he contested as a prime minister. Then 1990 to 1991, Janata Dal Socialist, this coalition name, and chief ministers Chandrasekhar. Then 96 to 97, United Front HD Devegowda. 97-98, United Front IK Gujral. 97-98, AB Vajpayee BJP led coalition. 1990 to 2004, NDA National Democratic Alliance, AB Vajpayee. Then you know that UPA 1, UPA 2, NDA and NDA. In this, since 2014, the influence of regional parties is decreasing and national political parties are driven by a single party, BJP, because it is getting the required number of majority in the Lok Sabha. Of course, now in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, we may see the growing importance of the regional parties. Next, merits of the coalition government. What are the merits here? In the coalition governments, as different political parties are coming together, different interest will reflect in the government. Because India, after all, is about diverse country in terms of language, caste, culture, ethnic groups. So this diversity will be reflected in the coalition government. Next, and it is a platform where different political parties' grievances and different groups in society, their grievances can be solved very quickly. And coalition government generally, whatever the decisions you are taking in the coalition government, you will consult all your political parties in the coalition. So generally the decision will be the more consensus based. That means the dictatorialness or the authoritarianness in the government will very less. Coalition government will strengthen the federal fabric, because in the coalition government you will see majority chunk as a regional parties, because your respect in the regional parties must be there in the coalition government. So the center-state relations will be respected a lot. You know, nowadays the governance system, how it is being misused and how it is affecting the center-state relations, apart from the misusing of the central agencies. And coalition government, like I mentioned earlier, it reduces the despotic rule. That means it is reducing the dominance of the single political party, because it is a consultation based process. Of course, it is having some demerits also. We will see what are the demerits. You know, students, coalition government generally, it gives so instability. Why? In the coalition government, if any political party is not satisfied, even though their demands are so unrealistic sometimes, if they are not satisfied, they may pull out their support and the government may collapse. And in coalition government, the role of prime minister is very, not that much powerful, because he has to satisfy or pacify all the partners in coalition government. So the prime minister role, which is supposed to be in the parliament government, that won't be that much effective in the coalition government. And in the coalition government, the major role played by the coordination committee. Here the coordination committee is the committee which coordinate among all the coalition parties. It exercises the real power compared to the cabinet. That means cabinet role is dissolved in the coalition government, and the cabinet role is replaces with the coordination committee. This is also one of the demerits. And in the coalition government, small political party always, they with their significant number of seats, they always act as a kingmaker, and they always go for the unrealistic demands. We have seen in Karnataka what happened in the case of the JDS in the previous instances, where it always used to be the kingmaker. Okay. Then sometimes because of the coalition government, because of the unrealistic demands from the regional parties, sometimes the regional issues will take over the national issues. Of course, it is against the national importance. And in the coalition government, if government is having any failure or something like, there the individual accountability is missing out. So the collective accountability and individual accountability is very minimal in coalition government. These are some of the demerits of the coalition governments. Of course, we'll discuss about these issues in the next appropriate videos. Okay. Now, I discussed about the coalition government merits and demerits. Now we will see regional parties in India, because in the present coalition government you will observe so many regional parties. So in India, regional parties are based on various demands. Some regional parties are demanding for more autonomy, such as People Democratic Party or National Conference Party in Jammu Kashmir. Some political parties demanding for separate statehood, previously TRS, now BRS in Telangana. And some political parties, they demanded for the separate identity, Dalit identity from the DMK. This is how the regional parties established over the period of time. Of course, the regional parties, they had very strong impact on the center-state relations. After the regional parties are emerged, the center-state relations subjected to more friction. Okay, next. 1989 to 2014, coalition political parties played very important role, whereas since 2014, single party dominance was witnessed in the Indian political parties because of the rise of BJP. So these political parties, ultimately their goal is to contest in the election. In India, elections are conducted by Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India is two levels in India: Central Election Commission, State Election Commission. Tell me, which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the State Election Commission? Central Election Commission, that is Election Commission of India, they conduct elections related to President, Vice President, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Assembly and Council. And Election Commission of India, provisions are mentioned in Part 15 from Article 324 to 329. It came into existence through Constitution on 25th January 1950. Yesterday video question: consider the following statement regarding the bilateral relation between the India and UAE. Answer is C. All the three pairs are right. Now we will see today's question. So today's question is: consider the following statement regarding the political party. Political parties serve as a vehicle for representing and advancing the interest of specific groups. Second statement: political party play a crucial role in democratic system by providing choice for the voters and competing for power. Third one: political parties often have organizational structure, leadership and platform outlining their goals and policies. Out of this, how many statements are, or how many pairs are true? Mains question: analyze the role and significance of political parties in democratic governance and discuss how political parties contribute to shaping public policy, representing diverse interests and maintaining the accountability in the political system. This is today's mains question. As we reach to the end of this video, just we will revise what we learned in this video. In this video, we discussed about the word politics and the importance of political parties, and based on the political parties, what are the different countries system, single party, two party, and we classified the political parties based on the ideology and how the political parties will set up in India, the reasons behind the emergence of regional parties. and coalition government, merits of the coalition government, demerits of the coalition government, salient features of the coalition government, and what are the various instances where we have seen the coalition government. And finally, we discussed about the Election Commission of India. This is the detailed analysis of the new coalition, that is India.